Hello and welcome. Welcome to 10 Factors to Consider If and When Switching Lawyers. Are you thinking about changing attorneys in your high conflict custody battle with a narcissist? Hi, I'm author Grace Rolson, the author of several books, including How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist When the Family Courts Force You to Co-Parent. I'm glad you're here. Please like and subscribe if you want more free videos, and you're welcome to come to Facebook and find my groups of other parents and mothers struggling with co-parenting with a narcissist and dealing with high conflict custody battles in family court. Quickly, I'd just like to go over a disclaimer before I begin all of my 10 factors and tips. These are helpful tips based on my opinions and thoughts. I'm not a qualified mental health professional nor a crisis caseworker, and I cannot give legal advice or appropriate counsel, and therefore not liable for any injury and harm. So please follow your doctor's, therapist, counselor's, lawyer's advice unless you talk to and retain a different lawyer with better advice for you, as well as your own good common sense and intuition based on your unique case to see if these could be helpful. Child custody situations vary, and some of these will not be applicable in your circumstance. And furthermore, court orders may dictate otherwise totally. So please use your own good judgment when listening to this video or reading this blog. It's for personal self-help only, and they're created from my own lived experience, and they're not based on any laws or rules of the court. It's copyright protected and not to be sold, but please share this to other groups so that they can get this helpful information. This is my new book. It has my legal strategies in it, my Get the Right Lawyer guide for interviewing attorneys with my worksheets, 20 question worksheets, 3 of them to print out. I'm happy to share what I've had to use to make this an easier process. I'll tell you about my guide in a minute. So as worried and stressed out moms, we often run or rush to a lawyer and dump all of our concerns, anxieties, complaints, pain, and problems. Most likely, we've never been in a legal battle since it's not our nature to fight for fairness or complain to such a degree. We may feel intimidated talking to a lawyer. We might feel ashamed since we're peace-seeking and peacemaking type of people. And typically, us empaths have accepted unacceptable behavior and are filled with anger. The anger of dealing with injustice and constant unfairness. Our first battle, breaking up with the narcissist, may have wore us out mentally, emotionally, and physically. And now we have a second legal battle that looms over our heads and haunts us. Can you relate? We've had to break up with our own codependency, love addiction, and trauma bonds to our ex to recover ourselves and self-esteem. Then we had to grieve our dreams of a happy family and face the pain of the lies, disappointments, and letdowns from the narcissist. Generally, we're not in good emotional shape when we get to a lawyer. We're heartbroken, scared to lose our children, and narcissistically abused with threats and other tactics. Now that we left our abuser, he most likely is doing co-parenting abuse tactics that further hurt and destabilize us. How are we supposed to show up strong and confident at a lawyer's office? What do we even ask the lawyer? We don't know the law. We have to remember that a narcissist wins by destabilizing the target. That's what's typical. By activating the target's fears and re-traumatizing us. We are that target. So if we heal and address our fears, we can remain stable. We don't get weakened, we actually become stronger. If we remain strong, calm, and certain, we are a powerful force that is threatening to the narcissist. If we crumble in confusion or are naive, if we project our good-hearted, caring, and sharing nature onto the narcissist, we're at a disadvantage. We aren't prepared for a fight that's about to come to our door in the form of a court summons. Some moms actually don't get a lawyer because the narcissist talks them out of it. We usually aren't ready for another battle, the games, the lies, the tricks, or the manipulation of that a narcissist can do in a custody battle or in family court. We usually are not ready for this, but we have to be for our kids. Add to this that we have to deal with this all while trying to be a mom and raise our children. Know that not all lawyers are the same. This is why I created my Get the Right Lawyer Guide for moms to have a 20-question interview worksheet and some basic understanding about retaining and hiring a lawyer. The link will be below. These lawyers and attorneys, work for us. We need to be selective and mindful of our choice of attorney. Not all lawyers are created equal, and in fact, some are narcissists too. We have to watch out for being taken advantage of in this area. Moms like us who care deeply for the safety of our children often turn into high-paying clients because we are most likely a high-conflict case. Due to dealing with a personality disordered person, such as the narcissist. Even though all the narcissist craziness affects us and the custody battle frightens us, we can't allow ourselves to be so out of balance that we start being dysregulated. I created a video and a blog about not showing up from a state of emotional upheaval and desperation when retaining a lawyer. We have to be mindful of ourselves, our state of emotions, our pain and trigger. Read Don't Be Desperate for a Lawyer or watch the video down below. We have to know that not all lawyers are ethical when we interview them. We have to watch for red flags here too. Some will say exactly what we want to hear just to get us as a client. It's brave when a lawyer tells us the truth about how family court works or the reality of the cost and the potential losses we might take in a custody battle. Many attorneys needing clients in cases, the billable hour, don't turn away clients who are desperate, whereas some lawyers will smell the high conflict from the initial stories we tell and decline to represent us. It's a fine line to walk in how much we reveal and say in a first consultation. It's best to be practiced and prepared with my guide. You can buy it at the link below. Here are the factors. You might consider these factors if you are contemplating changing attorneys. It's not a one-size-fits-all. There is no way to predict what a judge will rule, even if the judge has a usual track record. Why? Because the cases are so complex and the narcissist is so tricky. It's good to know your judge, and if you don't, have a lawyer who does know the judge. 10 factors to consider if and when changing representation. It may be time to consider switching attorneys if 1. They lost our custody case. 2. They don't return our calls with specific questions, not the calls with drama. 3. They don't file motions that they say they will. 4. They file late replies and responses, and we get penalized for missing paperwork. 5. They don't think we have a case. 6. They keep billing us for services that we don't see them performing. 7. They're rapidly draining our retainer before the case even gets attention or any court appearances. 8. They don't offer wisdom, advice, or a strategy to us. 9. They don't offer guidance on what to document to win our case or instruct us to compile evidence that matters to our specific court case and our judge. 10. The judge doesn't seem to like or respect our lawyer. This can go against us. And here's a little bonus factor. They're new, naive, and have never dealt with a high conflict case or know how to handle narcissists. They repeatedly get surprised by a judge's ruling in our case, and they have no experience. Do you recognize any of these in your situation? This might be time to examine how many of the 10. Getting help making difficult decisions. Before changing attorneys, reason it out with a neutral, wise, trusted person or people. I hired several high-conflict custody coaches and had many support people to help me make the decision. You can read about how I acquired a team of 10 in my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane. That's the orange and yellow book, number 1. I had to have people supporting me to make healthy, mature, and good decisions. I was emotional. Be careful not to think that switching attorneys in your case is the answer to winning, fixing the narcissist, or solving all your problems. It will take discernment to know what is the best choice in any given circumstance. A decision to let go or fire an attorney can be very difficult for us. It was hard to break up with a narcissist. It was hard enough to take them to court for child support, and then it becomes hard to let an ineffective or incompetent lawyer go. However, we have to do many difficult things as protective moms looking out for our child's safety, needs, and best interests. Don't let the switch of representation be personal or a personal issue. This is business, even though it's emotional and about people. I found it best to thank my second lawyer and leave with an appreciation of all that he did and tried to do over the years. While he was excellent at returning my pleading phone calls, he was not organized in his paperwork, nor effective enough, high-powered enough, to represent me in a trial. He was not a family law expert. I learned to see the good and be grateful rather than disappointed, though. What I have noticed from coaching moms as a strategy coach that is often they hire the most high-powered attorney who demonstrates narcissistic traits. What some find is that it's too hard to deal with 2 narcissists at both ends of this battle. We find ourselves dealing with a narcissistic attorney, and it's draining our energy to deal with them, plus deal with our narcissistic ex. Then we may need to devise a strategy for screening out narcissists from our lives. We may need to do consultations to see if we can find a better replacement. Take your time. Read some legal reviews on prospective attorneys. Whatever you decide, do it from a state of calm certainty rather than emotional upheaval and desperation. Sleep on the decision. Give it 30 days if need be. Interview potential replacements and have a different attorney ready to take you before you jump ship. Write a thank you note and do your best to end on good terms. Be smart, be wise, be mature. Practice self-preservation at all costs. Our children need us. They need us to be financially secure and make good financial and legal decisions. When I first switched and got my current attorney, he didn't return my frantic calls. Then I thought about switching again, but I decided to give it 6 months to see how he performed. Turns out that I'm glad I did this because he won everything back slowly, but it took time and patience on my part. Patience I didn't have at the time. This meant I needed the support of more than just a lawyer to get through the family court failures and the process. We have to have other support people to help us through a legal battle, as it is seriously stressful. Here are some suggested mental do's and don'ts of having legal representation in a high-conflict custody battle. Don't expect your lawyer to fix all your problems with a narcissist. 2, don't expect your lawyer to win you everything you want. Watch your expectations. 3, don't expect your lawyer to know all the important issues. 4, don't expect your lawyer to know what you want or what your child needs. 5, don't expect your lawyer to return every call because this is costly and you're not their only client. 6, don't burn out your attorney with the drama. 7, don't think a different attorney is always the answer to an unfavorable court ruling. 8, don't do things that jeopardize your case and get angry at your attorney about it. 9, don't make unilateral decisions on controversial topics without asking for legal guidance. 10, don't blame your lawyer for all the bad that the narcissist does. Now here are some do's. 1, do prepare with notes before you do a legal consultation. You can buy my Get the Right Lawyer guide down below. 2, do write a list of 20 wants and needs before meeting with your attorney. I do this each and every time. 3, do ask for things in the form of solutions to problems. 4, do document issues that show patterns of behavior of your ex. 5, do organize your documentation and evidence. 6, do get emotional support for a legal battle. Don't just rely on your attorney. 7, do healing programs and be stable and sane as a litigant. 8, do educate yourself on legal battles with narcissists. You can buy my books on Amazon. 9, do get added or additional legal consultations if you aren't satisfied with your lawyer or attorney's performance, work, or mistakes. 10, do your best to try to take an objective view of your custody case. See what might be reasonable and look at your expectations because they can lead to disappointment. And 11, do take a break if your court case has consumed you and you've hit a dead end. Other factors to consider. Sometimes you simply don't have the money for another retainer, and you can afford to switch attorneys. Other times you think other lawyers are as expensive as your current one. Keep an open mind when it comes to this and be sure to give the prospective attorney information regarding your limited ability to pay, if that's the case. One mom going through a divorce had to call her lawyer's office, and tell her to stop doing things on her case because the retainer was almost gone and they never even got to court appearances. Other moms have had to find a pro bono attorney. Some moms have had to take a break from lawyers and courts for a year or more to restore lost energy. It can be exhausting to be running on high adrenaline. Retaining and relying on an attorney was, for me, a lot like trying on a new pair of shoes. I had to walk with them a little while to see if they would be a good fit. We often have to try things out to see if they'll be a good match. Moms in my private support group find this to be true too. Some moms find that attorneys have their paralegals do all their work for them. This costs more money as messages have to be relayed from one professional to another. In this case, you might get charged to reiterate your story several times for things already discussed. Or some find that their attorney is not well versed in the law and didn't read their court order or never read it all the way through. Some moms who have been through this have cautioned other moms not to be too scared to undermine your attorney in court if it's in the best interest of your child and your attorney is about to make a big mistake. Another mom said in interviewing a potential attorney, she asked them about their highest conflict case and how they handled it to get a gauge on whether the attorney was right for her. This is one sure way to get the lawyer talking and hear his or her perspective, experience, strengths, and weaknesses. We have to be brave and ask the questions and take control of our cases, sometimes with our power of choice. We get to choose, and sometimes we have to choose differently or choose again. This is my second one here. Don't be desperate for a lawyer. Only use your lawyer for law, not the drama or as a therapist. I can't tell you how many moms have told me that they use their lawyer mistakenly as a therapist to the tune of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So try to use your lawyer for what they are good at and what they are trained in. It's just wise to do it that way. There's the Get the Right Lawyer guide. Here are my books in order from 1, 2, and 3. And this one is a place you could start if you're focused on family court. And this is my How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist new book. Has all of the Get the Right Lawyer guide, legal strategies, the 3-part survivor strategy. And, we don't want to be desperate for a lawyer, which means we have to prepare. That book also has what to put in a court order, a list of things, a comprehensive list of things to make sure you get in there so you don't have to keep going back to court. Thanks for watching. I'm Grace Rolson. If you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. I've been a mentor to moms, helping moms stay sane and stable when their court cases, safeguard their custody cases, make comebacks in their custody cases. And I've been a mentor. You know, a mentor is someone whose hindsight can become your foresight. All these cases are different. I am able to see some things that I've done wrong and own up to my mistakes. I have a whole video on the mistakes I made as a mom, and I learned from those mistakes. And I came out, I didn't just go through it, I grew through it, and I came out stronger than before. So thank you for watching. I hope you pick up one of my groups and find me on Facebook.